Good evening. You're watching State of Business on Art Television. This is Zeenat Musafir. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Property Guru Asia Property Awards held in Colombo last evening. Prime Minister of Thailand meets with President for bilateral discussions. News in details. For the first time in history, Sri Lanka successfully hosted its very own Property Guru Asia Property Awards gala dinner in Colombo last evening. Property Guru Asia Property Awards, Asia's most respected property awards, honors the finest real estate projects in Colombo, Greater Colombo, Central Colombo and Southern districts, as well as achievement in green development and public facility. Asia Property Awards recognizes the real estate sector's tremendous potential, with the island's most innovative developers in current developments of the year chosen by an independent panel of experts following a rigorous selection process over the last 9 months. Prime Group took home the coveted Best Developer title, while Pradeep Marais received the title of Real Estate Personality of the Year. Addressing the gathering, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development Partli Champika Ranawaka made the following remarks.
We are working continuously to improve and enhance the conducive ambience through the implementation of the Megapolis Master Plan. It is important to place here on record that we have developed the new National Physical Plan to further enhance local and international connectivity. For instance, the Colombo-Trinco Economic Corridor from western shores to the eastern shores. The Trinco will open Sri Lanka to India, Bangladesh, China, Myanmar and other ASEAN countries through Bay of Bengal. The Colombo will open up to the West and the Middle Eastern markets and the East Africa. We have also drawn up the plan to develop the connectivity of Galle Hambantota to another economic corridor. In addition to that, we have identified strategically important cities such as Kandy, Anuradhapura, Jaffna, Galle, Ratnapura and Kurunegala etc. have already commenced. Now is the time to celebrate the positive developments in the country, from real estate projects to the infrastructure development, as they open the door for more investment. Sri Lanka is now in a position to take advantage of our developing economy and evolving industries to elevate the country to a new heights.
Founder and Managing Director of Property Guru Asia Property Awards, Terry Blackburn, says that the aim of this event is to set a benchmark for quality real estate in Asia. He made these remarks while speaking exclusively to Art Television.
Our original motivation was to set a benchmark for quality real estate in Asia, and that remains the same today as it did 13 years ago. So we originally launched in Thailand, and then from Thailand we expanded. We have an independent panel of judges who are supervised by BDO Advisory, which is the world's 5th largest accounting and auditing network, and that means credibility and transparency. Gives the industry a benchmark, and it also gives consumers guidance on the best properties to buy and investing.
Minister of Thailand, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who is on a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka, met with President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo yesterday for a bilateral discussion. The Prime Minister of Thailand was warmly received by President Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat and accorded an official guard of honour and a gun salute. During the meeting, the two leaders paid their attention to further develop and strengthen the trade and technical cooperation between Sri Lanka and Thailand. The attention was also drawn to implement a joint tourism promotion program to take the Buddhist heritage of both countries to the world. Following the bilateral discussions, a number of agreements were also signed between the two countries. The Treaty on the Transfer of Offenders and on Cooperation in the Enforcement of Penal Sentence was signed by the Minister of Justice, Tharathatha Koirala, and Thailand's Foreign Minister. A Memorandum of Understanding on Strategic Economic Partnership was signed by Minister Malik Samaravikrama and Thailand's Deputy Minister of Trade. An agreement on joint action program for cooperation on sustainable community development model based on the application of sufficiency economy philosophy in Sri Lanka was also signed. The Memorandum of Understanding on technological collaboration related to value addition of primary products was signed by Kitsart University in Thailand and the Ministry of Primary Industries. We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned for more news after these commercials. Welcome back. During an exclusive interview with Art Television, the President of National Chamber of Exporters, Ramal Jayasinghe, stressed on few factors concerning the export sector.
Actually, we have been very consciously over the last 3 to 4 years kept our operations away from politics. So, irrespective of what may happen, unless there's a major issue with regard to export performance or our businesses, then by and large, we try to be immune, but it cannot happen all the time. So one of the major requests that we have made throughout is to give us consistent policy, stable guidelines, so that we can base our business strategies on. And we see that is happening now. Of course, we have fluctuations in terms of tax. So we are finding mechanisms. We welcome the recently introduced Inland Revenue Act, which is useful and helpful to exporters. But however, there are some details which need to be ironed out. And we have recourse to the National Economic Council, where we could air these individual sectorial issues, particularly with regard to tax and tax structures. So we are in the midst of doing that. With regard to the weather or the climate change is happening all over the place. This year we've seen rain as against last year's drought. So we expect to be, for the agriculture sector to grow and have more positive growth and benefits and reap the benefits of the good weather that we've had. With regard to export performance, we've seen a month-over-month improvement, which was a trend that actually in 2017 the exports had improved, and we can see that trend continuing. But again, we have to move away gradually from the commodities and traditional based exports and build on export diversity, which I think would augur well for the exporters.
Speaking further, Ramal Jayasinghe highlighted on the initiatives that have been taken by the NCE in order to strengthen the export sector within the country.
One of the things that the NCE has been striving to achieve is to develop an environment of export entrepreneurship, a place where you would have access to eBay, Alibaba or such marketplaces where you can have global reach even from if it's a housewife who wants to sell something that she probably makes in her kitchen, to that level of micro entrepreneurship in exports we encourage. The NCE has a program called Potential Exporters, and we nurture entrepreneurs to join that, and if they don't have the wherewithal to export directly or to find global markets, we link them up. Now, for example, we have an excellent project in conjunction with the International Labour Organization or the ILO, where we have cultivators in the north and east. These were earlier war-affected areas where they grow commodities, some like chilies, papaya, mangoes, various produce. So they don't have the wherewithal to find buyers and go direct to the export market, but we link them up with our members who are large-scale food exporters, and we create that value chain. So the NCE we have a objective to link the north, south, east, west and other areas, those who produce, because agriculture is still a major significant industry in our country, with our exporters. And sometimes probably these outgrowers could be or become or form cooperatives, and they could directly export. So we are giving the know-how to do that.
The Export Development Board, together with the Sri Lanka Association of Manufacturers and Exporters of Rubber Products and Plastics and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, inaugurated an industry technology seminar with 3 international experts to advance the rubber and plastic industry and the product base in Colombo this morning.
This program was initiated on the request of the Sri Lanka Association of Manufacturers and Exporters of Rubber Products, called SLAMUP. They made a request from the Sri Lanka Export Development Board to provide support to conduct workshop of this nature for the benefit of the tyre industry in Sri Lanka. We are all aware Sri Lanka is the world's largest manufacturer of industrial and solid tyres, contributing to about 25 to 30% of the world requirements. And also we have a substantial pneumatic tyre industry. So there are certain requirements needed by the industry for the country to go forward, and we have identified the requirement for our technical people to make the industry more competitive. So this workshop is the culmination of the effort of the EDB, the SLAMUP and the Plastics and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, which is the pioneer institution providing the necessary technical education to the professionals in Sri Lanka for the last almost 60 years.
We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned to see how the stocks perform today after these commercials. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today.
The ASPI index gained by 19.28 points to close at 6,138.08. S&P SL20 dropped by 1.59 points to close at 3,334.82. The turnover was 626 million rupees and 46.1 million shares were traded.
Next is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for you today. Join us tomorrow with Biz Roundup on our television. Until then, take care and good night.